Interesting because the lawyers are getting involved now, and Wanda is going to fight back. Let's get caught up on where things stand right now. Here's a report from ABC24's Scott Mattis.
This morning, Shelby County Clerk Wanda Halbert held a press conference defending her name. It came one day after records show Halbert's attorney filed a motion to dismiss the petition to remove her from office, an effort spearheaded by Hamilton County DA Cody Wamp.
I'm not going to apologize for not operating outside of the law. I'm not interested in that. I want to go by the book, the letter of the law.
The motion filed by Halbert's attorney Daryl O'Neill asks the court to dismiss the petition to remove Halbert from office because it contends DA Wamp failed to state a claim.
The standard in the ouster procedure is willful, number one, and then it's clear and convincing evidence. Mere negligence or because you don't like how I run an office are normally not grounds for ouster.
You'll remember DA Wamp's petition last week asked the court to remove Halbert from office. That filing said that Halbert consistently failed to turn in monthly reports to the trustee in a timely manner. That's something Clerk Halbert denies.
We are very, very concerned about the pursuit of something that never should have happened had we been made whole over the last 5.5, 6 years.
And that was Scott Mattis reporting. So you heard her attorney, Otis. Just because she's negligent, mere negligence alone is not reason for ouster.
Right. It has to be willful negligence, or incompetence is one thing, but gross incompetence is another thing. Hey, look, they've all lost me by now. Wanda Halbert has lost all credibility in this community. I've been saying for weeks that she should resign. She's not going to resign. So let's let the courts decide this. If the judge suspends her, fine, and then we go to a full ouster case from there. I think that's where we are now. We're done with the talking because she makes no sense when she talks anyway about made whole. What does that mean? So
Well,
we're
to that
done
point,
with it.
she's constantly complaining about not having enough money, and then the Lee Harris administration was very quick to point out, by our records, you have $5.5 million extra that you haven't even used, has not even been spent. What are your thoughts on where things stand, Chris?
Yeah, in his defense, her attorney was right about the law, but I think he's going to be wrong about how the law applies to the facts. Look, the independent prosecutor who we brought in from Hamilton County, D.A. Mulroy, recused himself from this case, brought in Cody Wamp. She's a smart lady. She comes from a sophisticated political family. She's not going to bring a spurious charge. She's not going to do something silly. This is serious. She obviously believes that there was willful neglect, willful malfeasance, and she thinks that she can prove that to the clear and convincing evidence standard in front of circuit court. And I expect that that's going to happen.
I think she can prove it too. I mean, what we know to be public record is pretty damning, I would say.
Well, thus we have the political ramifications, the legal ramifications, but I want to come from another perspective. The picture that we just showed, the shot from her press conference, you know, there's a saying that a picture paints 1,000 words. There was nothing but black people on that shot. There was a time in Memphis and Shelby County when black people strove for excellence politically. They strove for the highest political offices because they felt that they could do the jobs at the highest levels. They strove for the kinds of integrity and honor that succeeding generations could pursue and aspire to. That has not been the case with Wanda. That's what upsets me. I want my granddaughter, my grandson to know that a person in a high elected office can do an excellent job, can not just excellent, better than excellent. We have always had to be better than a white person in that particular field. That's what upsets me. I'm sorry about it.
I think Ken just opened up a can here.
Which he tends to do, by the way.
That I think we definitely need to address. How did she get elected in the first place?
That's right.
She got elected because she was within the group of Democrats, most of them, if not all the rest of them, competent to do the job. But she was not. But she got elected regardless of that, based on name recognition, based on the D in front of her name, and let's just go ahead and put it out there, she was elected because she was an African-American woman and had all those other qualities.
In the majority African-American electorate,
Right.
which I believe, well, I know we have the responsibility to elect excellent office holders. So as much as this is at the foot of Wanda, it's at the feet of the electorate. What are we going to do about it? Do we want our children to continue to see this kind of thing as a result of our inaction or voting?
Well, Tawan has said on this program before, there was a time, not that long ago, when the intelligentsia within the African-American community would get together when there was a candidate who might not be so great on the ballot and find someone who would be better. And she says that, she bemoans the fact that that no longer is the case. Do we agree?
I agree.
Go ahead.
I agree, and I'll go a little further and say that, and I think Tawan has said this before, or somebody has said it, people don't want to deal with Wanda. And she comes across as combative, abrasive, and she's headstrong and wants to do what she wants to do, and they just leave it alone because they don't want to fight about it.
Two separate points very quickly. I think it's very telling that in a county where we have most of our major elected offices, at least at the county level, occupied by Democrats, she has few, if any, defenders. That's very, very telling. She's lost all her allies. I mean, have you heard any prominent elected
But she
official?
doesn't have any detractors either, really.
I mean, now
Among
that the Harris administration is putting out that information that's not friendly to her. That's my first point, which I think it tells you a lot. My second point is we have another election coming up this summer, just in a few months, where we have a choice between a politician who has never run an office, General Sessions Court clerk, and a candidate who worked for Republicans and Democrats for 40 years, who's ready to run the biggest court system in the state of Tennessee, and the electorate's going to have a choice. And the question is, can we ignore the partisan politics, can we ignore the craziness out of Washington, D.C., and pick the most competent person, regardless of partisan affiliation, regardless of skin color, regardless of whether they're in the burbs or in the city, and pick someone who's going to do a good job for the people, or we're going to find ourselves in this situation again, regrettably, with potentially someone else?
Well, we're not going to ignore the politics of it. And I have to say, let's go all the way back to the early 1990s.
You're right.
The Republicans.
I know what you're about to say.
It was the Republicans who started partisan
And that was a
primaries
mistake.
for county
That's
offices, and it was a huge mistake.
It was a mistake.
And now they are ruling what they sow.
Can't disagree with that. I'm a devil's advocate, though, here. She is duly elected.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
She, that's why this is so unusual and so unheard of, that there would be any kind of effort to oust her. Because the people have spoken who they wanted, and even when she was at the height of the controversy, she was reelected. Reverend?
And I believe that if she ran again, she'd be reelected.
Oh, I disagree with that completely.
Let's hope we don't have to find out.
Well, I mean, she's term limited anyway. Aren't the
She is, but
constitutional
she could run for,
I
she
don't
could
think
do
so.
Another office.
musical chairs.
The musical chairs of clerks around this county. All right, well, that's all we have time for on this one for today, but we'll keep you posted, folks, as this one develops, and no doubt will. When we come back, we're going to talk about a development with the Tyree Nichols lawsuit, $550 million the city is being sued for, and it resulted in the subpoena of the DA this past week. We'll talk about that in just a moment.